live from our studios in Lagos, Nigeria. It's still Enterprise Weekend on Enterprise Television. And now to our main conversation for today. Binance expressed relief on Friday as the Federal High Court in Abuja cleared Tigran Kambarian, a 39-year-old American, and fleeing Nadim Anjawala of tax evasion charges filed by the Federal Inland Revenue Service. The court's decision came after the FIRS submitted amended charges that effectively dropped the tax evasion allegations against Kambarian and his colleague who absconded to Kenya. This change followed the Binance notification of appointing a Nigerian representative, Ayodele Omotilewa, to handle its local operations, which illustrates that Tigran is not a decision maker at Binance and does not need to be held in order for Binance to resolve issues with the Nigerian government. The original charges filed on March 22, 2024 accused Binance and Gambarian of tax evasion. The crypto exchange also called on the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission to take similar steps, allowing Gambarian to return home to his family, emphasizing he is deteriorating health due to the 110 days of detention, during which he was diagnosed with malaria and pneumonia. It will be recalled that 16 members of the United States House of Representatives have petitioned President Joe Biden, urging him to intervene as they demand the return of detained Binance executive Tigran Kambarian to the United States of America. The U.S. lawmaker in the submission highlighted Tigran's work as a former IRS agent who helped lead some of the country's most prolific cyber investigations, including the seizure of $4.725 billion in illicit funds. The next hearing in this case is scheduled for June 19, where the application for an order for the enforcement of fundamental rights will be heard. And still with me in the studios, Emeka Amadu Nagu and Ziggy Ibe. Thank you, gentlemen, for hanging on. And there we have it. People say, some Nigerians would say, anything goes in Nigeria. I do not know how true that is. But some months back, the EFCC promised hell, for these executives, saying that they were the reason why our currency is on the increase every other day and held down. Of course, they say when the United States, sneezes, everyone catches cold. So do you think, Ziggy, that the reason for the sudden change in narrative by the EFCC and the FIRS is because the United States of America and its representative sneezed?
Had intervened?
Yes.
Thank you. I think we don't have answers to so many questions. Okay, and the way things are run in the country baffles you and I, because certain issues are not in the public knowledge. And I will give that to, this is our own environment, how things work here. Okay, it baffles me too that a man who had jumped, in fact, that man made headline in this country for more than a week because he had absconded from where he was kept, from the facility where he was, and DSS and the other agencies in between were saying, no, it was not us. Yes, it was you and all that. Eventually, he was extradited, and he was here. Eventually, the case went the way it is. They said he had malaria.
Yeah.
And pneumonia, a ground or a reason why he was let off the hook. I have no choice. I believe them.
You believe who?
I believe the authority who relieved him, who allowed him to go, because who do you question? Certain things are not in our knowledge. You are not knowledge. Maybe they will tell us we are not on the ground of knowledge when certain things like this happen, but the little knowledge we have about legal issues here is that someone who was extradited, who escaped from a custody, had flouted the law from primary understanding, had flouted the law, and ran away from this country to another country, was extradited, meaning that he has flouted another law. Then, coming to his case proper, and don't forget, there were a lot of stride Nigeria achieved when he was held or when he was arrested. Dollar went down.
And dollar is
and Naira gained substantially.
Yeah.
As we speak, not since he was left off the hook, but since he was held and all that, dollar had maintained his big brother role. Okay, and now he had been left. He has been left off the hook. Who knows? But then, I think each time we are approaching issues this way, we should know that countries are watching. We should know that there are countries who are holding us to high esteem and who want to be disappointed in the way we follow our legal issues. Because this is waiting. Why was the man left on the ground? He had malaria and typhoid. And we had so many Nigerians who are languishing in jail, who are languishing in the correctional centers, who had more than such ailments, and they are never allowed to go. That's why I said I don't know on which ground he was allowed to go. Whether, but then we were told that the guy had no issue as much as he was held before.
All right. Mecca, you've been a very strong critic of the federal government, especially with regards to how they handle the Binance issue. You've said it, countless times on this show that you are not very satisfied with the way the federal government is going about this. Now, with this new story making rounds, what do you think?
Yeah, you see, I'm a businessman and I like to approach things, facts are sacred. The way the government has gone about it only shows that there's a lot hidden behind the scenes. A lot of unsavory details are being hidden. Individuals in government using state power to settle personal scores. It's very, it's saddening. As at last year, it was clear that a lot of people, a lot of Nigerians in government, in business, in different places, had invested heavily in crypto. It's just like what happened during the era of MMM. A lot of people put money into MMM. 2022 and last year, a lot of businesses, even religious organizations, put money into different schemes here and there, investment schemes. Put money into investment schemes.
So are these schemes, are they Ponzi schemes? Because it's very important.
Well, no, I said investment schemes. No, don't drag me into calling them Ponzi schemes. When I say investment schemes, quote unquote, it is left to the securities and no, that's not what I'm going to. Both of you would throw me into a trap. But this is for the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, to actually call an investment scheme, quote unquote, a Ponzi scheme. So I don't work with them, so I can't go into that. But the point is that, you see, it has been clear that a lot of these people lost so much money, lost a lot of money, millions, billions. There are different schemes that you'll be surprised at the caliber of Nigerians that lost money to some of these schemes. These are some of the people who sit and lecture you. Oh, how you can do this, invest in this, how you can be a successful businessman. But where it mattered most, they were caught like rats in a hole. Something that who am I, just one small businessman, that you can't catch me even if you like. Plan for the next 50 years, you won't catch me.
But not because we are too smart.
No, I said small businessman because I'm saying, anyway, let's leave that. So what I'm saying is that to this instant case, you see, look at the premise. You say tax evasion. At the same, how can you be charging an unregistered entity? With due respect to the court, without going to the merits of the case, I was surprised that government took an unregistered entity to court for tax evasion. Then you can pack all the market women, all the traders, so many people on the streets, so many people will be in jail for tax evasion then. Because how many are registered? Recently, you said POS operators should register by July. How many are registered? I beg, go to jail. You want to make? I beg, go away. You understand? So the point is that this is a largely informal economy. You get? So if you want to regulate the economy, to make sure that people who participate in the economy are registered, drop the hypocrisy, go about that. If you want to make sure that people don't evade tax, but there's no country that has been able to successfully do that, but if, let's just say you want to do that, please drop hypocrisy and do that. If you want to settle personal scores, because last year was a horrible year in crypto. A lot of people lost money. You know, there was a student who committed 300 levels to committed suicide. Yeah. Because people gave him money to invest and the money went up in smoke. Yeah. So that, you know, some people have alluded to that. That maybe some people in government, you know, who lost money were just using that means. But, well, that is still in the realm of speculation. But to what we can see, like I can see this teacup and this saucer. The point is that, first of all, these things can be resolved outside the court. I'm a businessman. Last year, end of last year, FRS sent me a huge bill. I was wondering that if I made the kind of money that will generate this kind of tax, what is it now? I'm the one running the business now, it will show. But I've not even smelled that kind of money in my dreams, not to talk of. So we went, we discussed, and we resolved it. So, first of all, if you want to make Binance a legal entity in Nigeria, which I don't understand the rationale for that too, but if you want to make them a legal, knowing how they have had brushes with authorities around the world, you call them first of all. You give them time. Because there are so many companies in Nigeria that are even registered and have not done their returns for more than 20, 30 years. And they are still operating. You call them out of court. Give them time to register. If they don't register, you make sure you block their operations. They're talking about tax evasion. There are ways to sort these things away from the courts. Because one danger about taking financial issues to the courts is that if the other side, the defendant has a good lawyer who knows his way around, you may end up with a bad case. So it's better you just call them, sit them down. Since they came, they sent 2 executives to you. There was no point arresting them. You could have sat them down in an office and said, gentlemen, look. Negotiate. Financial issues are better negotiated than being taken to court. That's why you see, in financial disputes, usually you see at the bottom, you see that parties are advised to resort to arbitration in case. So they advise you, don't go to court because you'll be exposing little details. Yes. Okay, I put down money for coffee. And I was the one that paid for Uber that brought you the other day. Those messy issues you will be exposing to the public, and your opponents, your enemies, your competitors can catch you on that and destroy your business. So I felt all of these things, going to court and all of these things, it won't lead to anywhere. Now they brought a lawyer as an Nigerian representative. Matter as far as I'm concerned, with due respect to the court, is dead on arrival.
Yes, the matter being dead on arrival, because I actually wanted to take on that particular submission that you that you had. You know, the change of narrative here, you know, is the meaty part of our conversation. Binance suddenly elected or brought in a representative, a Nigerian representative, Ayodele, and with that, the story changed. That the man being held is no longer the decision maker of Binance. So just like Emeka did say, it now waves him away from the consequences that come with the charges that have been placed on him. The question is, if this was to be in the United States of America, let's say a Nigerian, we've had Nigerians being extradited to the United States to serve jail terms and all. If this was a case of Nigerian business doing the same thing and was taken to the United States of America, do you think the similar case that we see now playing out in Nigeria would possibly do?
We have different systems. You are talking about you are talking about a developed country and a developing country. I don't want to mention the other one. You understand? So there, the system takes care of everything. In fact, nobody pushes you around for anything. The system takes care of it. But here, individuals takes care of you. You are being pushed around by individuals. And God forgive you if you are not in the bad book of those they are pushing you to. They will push you into the other bad end. But if you are, you sail through and nothing happens to you. But then you don't compare these two countries because they're a huge difference, very huge difference. Our legal jurisprudence is different from theirs. Our legal system is different from theirs. Like he said, business is better being negotiated. Binance is a business enterprise. It's an outfit. Don't forget, somebody else within the country is gaining from it. Okay, look at the way the case turned eventually. Before, we didn't know about Ayodele, who was the country's rep. We didn't. Only 2 reps from United States. And don't forget, within that period, Wajala was there, or what's his name? US had issue with one of their directors too.
In the United States?
In the United States.
Yes.
Theirs is still going on. Ours has been cooled. You see the difference? It's a huge gap. And who knows why we are rated or we are given that status as a growing or developing country? Because there are so many things we've never learned how to do well. God forgive us, or God help us. I wish ourselves Godspeed. We will get how to do those things well. But then, our orientations matters here. The way we approach issues are quite different from the way, of course, not there. The system, like I said earlier, the system take care of you. Just like a man who drives recklessly here, he goes scot-free. A man there can't drive recklessly because the system has a way of checkmating and whipping him into line. Nobody pursues you. In Ghana here, when you drive recklessly, the laws you had flouted is before you on your phone, just right there. Nobody pursues you. Nobody drags you into anywhere. But here, look at the way our people hide here. They will hide under one corner. The same people will tell you to follow here, but when you follow here, you will be apprehended. The same law enforcement. So a lot has gone wrong. So if you want me to go into details about this Binance, my brother, I wouldn't be able to do that because a lot has passed under the water. Do you understand? I'm not there. All I know is what I am reading from the newspaper and I'm reacting to it. The reaction here is that the man has been set free. Forgetting he left the way he left here, how he was extradited, and all the skirmishes around it are now being put over. And the man is a free man. Walks tall on the street.
All right, so in as much as we might...
I don't know if you allow me to address that quickly.
Please do.
Yeah, because, now, one thing we need to look at, some of the treaties Nigeria signed in a number of countries, they place us at a disadvantage when it comes to tax issues.
Your law here, doesn't it place you on disadvantage?
No, I mean even Nigeria.
So that's your law here.
So, because, why am I saying this? Now that they've brought a representative who is a lawyer, that's what the federal government told, under Buhari, told Facebook, Twitter, and the rest of them to do. Let's have a representative in Nigeria. But let me give you an idea. That look at like this online, these loan apps,
Loan sharks.
It's only recently you began to see some having physical offices. The other day I saw the vehicle of one, branded vehicle. I said, okay, so these guys are now coming. Because not like that, if you lose your money, which physical office?
Yeah.
Now, the federal government did a very simple thing.
Which was
told them, okay, you want to operate, right? You are supposed to be payment platform because some of them got licenses as payment platforms, but we are doing banking services. So what you will do is at the minimum is go and get a microfinance bank license. So you saw some of them, I don't want to mention their name, some of them now went to get a microfinance bank license. So which effectively put them into the financial systems, inclusion.
And all of them eventually they have a physical office.
That's where I was leading to. Then, since they now have microfinance bank licenses, they are now included in the financial system. So they can have physical offices, right? Good. But there are the others who are still operating as loan apps, which government is still trying to weed off. So one thing you should know is that when it comes to international business, the internet has given so much room for anonymity. For instance, okay, you say Binance set up an office. It's not difficult. But if somebody loses 500 million in it and he brings stocks to burn the building, what will happen? If you're working for them, will you wait? You won't even come to work. You understand? So that is the issue, the contradiction. So that's you are telling them that they should register. And when you register, you must have an identifiable address, an address that can be traced.
Which is okay.
And then this is a volatile business where people can lose money. At the same rate, they can make money. Now, the other thing is this, if you just bring them, let them go to SEC. And SEC will give them conditions. Securities and Exchange Commission will give them conditions. And one of the conditions is that they must be approved by NDIC. Nigeria Deposit Insurance Corporation. So whatever money people are putting into that place must be traceable and then must be insured. So that like Heritage Bank. Now, there's a story now that one big player in the entertainment industry had over 3 billion naira in Heritage Bank. And NDIC is saying this is the limit. We won't pay more than 5 million. So already people are crying that only 5 million out of 3.something billion. So all of these things, just tighten your financial system. There's a lot of money around the world that can come into Nigeria, but you got to get serious. Then your officials should stop looking for ways to shortchange the system. Because when you shortchange the system, you are investing in crypto. You are investing in crypto knowing it's illegal, knowing that it undermines your economy, knowing that it's not regulated in your country. It's not even regulated in your country. But you have funds that can be stolen. The main ground for the federal government now is, initially was that, okay, give us a list of those on your customer on your database. We have stylishly moved away from that now. We are moving to tax evasion, which eventually will be settled out of court. Who has lost? Just like my senior brother here said, Nigeria has lost once again.
Very true. You see, this is a very sensitive issue, but the truth remains that Nigeria is not an island, especially in a world where the internet is there for everyone. And I think it's very important that those in authority should better, find a way to remake this and make it easier for people to do their businesses, but most importantly, register to do good businesses in Nigeria. I'd love to say my big thank you to Ziggy Ibe for being part of our show. Much. Thank you so very much for your incisive discussion and contribution. Emeka Madunagu, thank you as always for being part of our show. We'd love to say thank you to you for being part of our show today and always giving us your time. We sincerely do appreciate it. But please do visit our website at www.enterprisetv.com. Like, comment, and follow us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV7. I am Henry Igurike, and on behalf of the entire team, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.